I think it starts with awareness. Like, you're having this conversation. And I think in the spaces that we all inhabit, like it's something that I talk about in my circle, because we do check-ins, we do either in person or in Zoom check-ins just to check to see how people are. And there's a lot of people that I'm in community with who never considered self-love, never considered a self-care practice. So sometimes the way for me to encourage people to love themselves is to teach them how to better care for themselves. You know what I mean? Self-care has there's emotional self-care, spiritual self-care, psychological self-care, professional, physical. There's all different areas of self-care that we can tap into and practice so that we can feel more wholesome. And I find for myself personally, when I'm taking good care of myself, that's the way I show myself that I love myself. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's just a matter of educating people that there is a different way that you could be living your life. You shouldn't be not getting your sleep. You should not be eating right. You know what I mean? There are things, little things. You could just pick one or two things each month that you're going to add to that self-care or that wellness practice that you're trying to cultivate. And then it becomes a lifestyle. I have a lifestyle of well-being. I have a lifestyle of self-care. And it's okay, no junk. And I practice it. And for me, I tell anyone that I'm in community with is not to start doing your self-care when it's a challenge. Do your self-care as a way of life, as a daily practice, so that when the hard times come, you're a little bit more fortified for the journey. And when I started saying, and I tell this people this all the time, I am the love of my life. So I act accordingly. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes us just nudging someone in a little bit of a different direction than they're in and meeting people where they are. Everybody, if you haven't done anything, you ain't gonna all of a sudden go down and have a whole self-care practice, but just do one thing. And when you get good and get used to that, add something else. And I think it just has to be a lifestyle. It just has to be something that's a non-negotiable. When I first started practicing self-care, I would put a thing on my calendar, just like any other appointment. Go for your walk, make sure you're eating your lunch. You know what I mean? Because you could be bogged down, especially when I was going into the office and it's 4 o'clock and you haven't even gotten up from your desk. Don't nobody care nothing about that. You're disrespecting yourself and your own well-being, because if something was to happen to me on the way to work, somebody else would be in that seat in 24 hours.